By God, the WCW roster has invaded the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden. Whatever will Vince McMahon and the entire WWE roster do against this unstoppable invading force? I'm John Redden with the retro review of WWE Raw from June 25th, 2001. Taking place the night after King of the Ring 2001 that I just retro reviewed. Please check that out if you haven't already. Yes, Madison Square Garden. Rich history, going back to Vince McMahon Sr., so many classic moments, and as goes the garden, so goes the territory. And Vince Jr. taking it to new heights and everything, and now he has beaten his competition into the goddamn dust. And WCW is dead. Well, the husk of WCW hung around with the invasion angle, and yes, I have decided to retro review the entire invasion angle, at least from King of the Ring 2001 until the Raw after Survivor Series 2001. Why? Well, I managed to get through the entire last year of WCW, well, the reboot episode, April 10th, 2000, all the way until the end, March 26, 2001, with my sanity barely intact. So I figured 5 months of up and down television with missed opportunity after missed opportunity after missed fucking opportunity after fucking missed opportunity, I figured it'd be a goddamn cakewalk. And there are some cool moments in the invasion angle, but as I said in my, King of the Ring 2001 review, basically a lot of the key components, big stars, the three members of the NWO, Hogan, Hall, and Nash, Scott Steiner, Goldberg, Flair, even though Flair would show up right after Survivor Series 2001, Sting, and so many others had guaranteed contracts through AOL Time Warner. So they were like, we're just going to get paid, and we might make occasional wrestling appearances overseas or whatever, but we're just going to get paid, and I don't blame them. So yeah, this invasion angle didn't turn out to go all that well, which is a shame because there was potential to at least have something good here. They hotshot it. And even the people that could have succeeded, Vince McMahon wasn't going to allow WCW to even be close to what WWE did. I mean, take a look at what it was by Survivor Series 2001. It was a bunch of people from, WWE on both sides, and the whole alliance thing was like dead and buried. And the whole alliance thing was dead and buried shortly after the Invasion pay-per-view, but I digress. Still, though, this is a pretty cool episode, and it really was one of the bright spots of the Invasion angle. One of the lines from commentary, Austin has hospitalized Chris Benoit. Oh dear. So here's Vince to address the WCW defections. Oh no, what's going to happen? Oh, no, it's like, what does the T in Booker T stand for? Does it stand for troglodyte? Gee, it's not going to be like at least Vince isn't going to say a bad word to Booker T like he would at Survivor Series 2000. Was it 5? Was it 5 or 6? I think it was 5. The whole point is he said a really bad word, he said that word right when Booker T was right there. He said to Cena, and I'm not even going to say it, but please don't say it in the comments. I can't fucking believe that Vince would say that. Actually, I can. But anyway, that's bad. That was 2005-06. This is 2001. And he says, I'll put WCW and Shane out of business. He talks about WWE's history, Madison Square Garden. Shows video package on his father and what his father meant to Madison Square Garden. And we get footage of Freddie Blassie, especially Gorilla Monsoon, got a big pop, who had just passed away a couple years prior. And how Vince Sr. transformed Andre into the biggest box office attraction in the world. Andre was kind of already heading there anyway, but yeah, Vince Sr. helped give him credibility, but I'm just saying it's not like Andre couldn't have gotten there. Maybe not, I'm not saying Vince Sr. didn't help, but it's not like Andre, wasn't already seen as a pretty big sensation. So anyway, JR and Heyman run down the card. Well, mainly just the fact we're getting a tag title match later. We start off with Test versus Rhino for the hardcore title. Rhino had lost the championship. Test had won it when Stacy Keibler distracted. To be fair, stop thinking about it, Zach. I know you're thinking about it. If you watch it, stop it. Get some help. So huge Rhino chance. My goodness. Trash can, big boot. They go outside the ring to the railing. The matches really don't mean a whole lot, so I'm going to skip through a whole lot of that stuff. They go backstage, and there's a bunch of cords around, and Benoit is nowhere to be seen because he's getting surgery. Oh, this is going well. And then Rhino gets put on some tables after being extinguished, basically, and then Test drops an elbow through there. Why are there ladders in the parking area? Genuinely, were they having to change out the lights? I don't think that those ladders would have reached that. So, Rhino hits a gore into a metal sheet that just happened to be there, and got the 3. And the new champ until Mike Awesome does a pretty good 40-yard dash. And Awesome bombs Rhino onto a ladder and covers 1, 2, 3. So, shocking, Mike Awesome is the new hardcore champion. Unfortunately, that was pretty much a high point of Mike Awesome in WWE. And it's a real shame what happened to Mike Awesome, not even 6 years later, because I think February 2007 is unfortunately when he took his own life. But this was a cool moment. And then Jeff Hardy versus X-Pac, WCW or WWE Light Heavyweight Championship. The Cruiserweight Championship will come over later. Hey, it's a King of the Ring rematch. X-Pac sucks. The girls pop again for Jeff Hardy taking off his shirt. And I feel like I've said this stuff before. Oh yeah, I said it in my King of the Ring review. Basically, it ends after a few minutes with a backslide and X-Pac's feet on the ropes, but the ref doesn't see it. So X-Pac is a new light heavyweight champion. Then would face Tajiri, I believe, at SummerSlam 2001. And then would just leave. I don't remember if it was a pay dispute or something, or his contract. I'm not really sure. He would come back as part of the NWO in mid 2002. That worked out well, and that's pretty much it. So anyway, Vince then yells at Austin and Deborah. Mike Awesome, took the hardcore title. He R'd me. I'm not going to say the word. Please don't say it here. I was like, oh. It's like when he said that he was going to have Undertaker's wife, kidnapped and R'd by a motorcycle gang. Vince has a weird fetish with things and words. So anyway, Austin says, I kept my title. Where were you? You're like, I don't give a damn about your thing. The crowd's popping. The crowd's like, oh, the old Stone Cold's back. And then they hug and then the crowd boos. So nobody wanted to boo Austin. Nobody wanted to boo him. Bruno video package, Garden Classics. Really cool to see that, despite the fact they were on the outs for so goddamn long. Thank God they were able to mend fences, thanks to Triple H. I will give him credit for that. And Bruno got in the Hall of Fame before he passed away. So, Big Show hits on Trish and has a Big Show with an arrow pointing down to his junk, because you get it, he has a big penis. And Trish is a woman, so she will be objectified. She did just bark like a dog a few months before this, so I guess it sort of makes sense, except it doesn't. So, he wants to take Trish on a European vacation if he beats Matt Hardy for the European title. That's how that works. Anyway, Vince says, I don't think Benoit will ever be the same. Oh, Vince, you have no goddamn idea. And especially considering that the date of this was, I think, 6 years later to the day they did a video package. Or not a video package, but an entire episode dedicated to him. Oh dear. Garden Classics with superstar Billy Graham, noted roid user and guy that really was a charismatic champion and couldn't wrestle at all and then broke down and then, got a liver transplant that he never should have fucking gotten because he didn't fucking deserve it given all the bullshit that he said. I don't have a problem saying that because I don't really give a shit because, I'm just that way. Also, Billy Graham's kind of a goddamn jackass. So anyway, we get Steven Richards talking about New York, calling New York was a cesspool. Taz shows up and beats him in 30 seconds. It might not have even taken that long. And then Mayor Giuliani's favorite grappler, says Paul Heyman. Ooh, 20 years after the fact, and we got that piece of shit and unable to practice law in New York State. And by the way, that guy's an idiot, and so is anybody that supports him, because how the fuck can you support somebody whose brain is literally leaking out of their goddamn head? What brain is actually left? The goddamn cesspool piece of shit who married his cousin. And he knew it. I can't play banjo in case you can't tell. So Austin, Kurt, and Vince are talking. Kurt shows up and basically, because Kurt had shown up because Kurt wasn't doing all that well because of the King of the Ring coronation and stuff like that. And he says, hey Steve, you want a carrot? Hey Steve, we're kind of the same. We're former the King of the Ring winners. You're the WWE champion. I'm a former WWE champion. We could be related. I hated that I laughed at this, but it was entertaining then, and it's entertaining now. It was really good shit. Kurt's comedic timing was fucking incredible. King of the Ring coronation. Regal and Tajiri have the trophy. They kept acting like Tajiri was a goddamn goof, which is funny, because I saw him at an indie show a couple years ago, and the guy moved just as well then, or just as well there as he did back in 2001, because he's apparently ageless, or an immortal, or a vampire possibly. I don't know. So he knocks, Regal knocks the New York people and the country in general. Edge and Christian show up. Well, it's time, let's do a 5-second pose, as you say, wreck of awesomeness, because Regal just be that kind of guy. Tajiri does the 5-second pose. It was funny. Christian keeps hinting at jealousy, but says he wanted to face his brother, but he couldn't, but he's happy his brother got the victory. The era of awesomeness. Billy Gunn shows up to talk about winning the 99 King of the Ring tournament, which, in case you don't remember, yes, was something that actually happened. That's no disrespect to Billy Gunn, but my God, he won it, and then he lost a Kiss My Ass match against The Rock at SummerSlam 99. Yes, Mr. Ass lost a Kiss My Ass match. So, Edge says, well, you know, it's like, you sound like a human vacuum cleaner. Me and you manage to suck and blow at the same time. He says, Regal, I want you to know that I will not Billy Gunn this title because I will actually be entertaining. Billy Gunn just effectively got buried every time they tried to make him a heel or make him a single star. It's just amazing. I mean, and Billy Gunn looks exactly the same now or then as he does now. It's amazing. But yeah, we got a match for later. Garden Classic, Slaughter and Patterson boot camp match. And by the way, Patterson could be watching that, but he ain't in heaven. He's down there in hell. And you know what I'm talking about. Dudley Boys took on Kane, and Undertaker with Sarah. Sarah, who, you know, really should have been shot with a goddamn wide lens, if you know what I mean. So, tag title match, it was fine. We get a distraction thing later where the referee's kind of groggy and everything, and outside, and everybody's brawling, and Albert hits the Baldo bomb on Kane, because that's going to lead to the Intercontinental Championship going to him a little bit later when you're dealing with the X Factor. And that was it. Devon covers for 3, and then Kane leaves. DDP blindsides Taker on the stage and then faces off with Sarah, pulls her by her hair and pulls out some extensions, and then leaves. You know, they didn't know what to fucking do with DDP, and it's a real shame. So anyway, Regal says, who do I have face Chris Jericho? Tajiri's like, me. I mean, he didn't say me, even though he can speak English, but he was like, me. Oh, you want to face Tajiri? That's delightful. Go and do that. Matt with Lita took on the Big Show with Trish. European title. Okay, so basically there wasn't much of anything to this until Trish kissed Matt, and then Lita pulled her off the apron, ripped off her top. She still had a bra on, by the way. More in the pity. And then Lita nutshots Big Show when he tried to choke slam Matt. And that's about it. That's about it right there. Shane McMahon's in WWE New York, WWF New York, I know what it was called at the time. By the way, sweet shirt. My sister made this, not the shirt. She painted the logo. My sister's goddamn awesome like that. This is a cherished possession. And I'm going to wear this for all the Invasion shows because it was still WWF at the time. So anyway, he says it's time for WCW to invade the WWF. And here's Booker T to cheers. Calls out Austin. Austin and Vince talk. He says, why don't you go there and kick his ass? Austin says, Angle, come with me. What? Why? Angle limping, noticeably limping because of his broken tailbone, and Austin was also injured. If you notice, they didn't wrestle for a few months, well, a few weeks at least, because they were injured and they needed some time off. So APA and talking to the locker room, hey, we're all WWF, and these guys are coming in. They wanted to put us out of business. We can't allow that. S.A. Rios and Haku were standing next to each other. I don't know why that amused me. That's what stuck out to me here. I don't know why that amused me so goddamn much. But it was fine. Garden Classic, Snuka onto Morocco. And then Snuka went right to hell for killing Nancy Argentino and not, you know, spending a day in jail for it. Because Vince McMahon paid off the goddamn police chief. Check out that Dark Side of the Ring. You fucking know. That police chief looked guilty as fuck. So, Billy Gunn versus Edge with Christian. And, well, Billy basically, you know, was a full-on heel here. We got some either Hogan chants or something. I think a fan was dressed like Hogan, but the fans were really distracted during this. And eventually Christian hit Billy with a backbreaker. Well, it was going to be a reverse DDT, but it was onto his knee. And then Impaler, 1, 2, 3. So they're playing the seeds of Christian having help Edge and wanting to be in the spotlight until Edge would win the Intercontinental Championship and then, excuse me, lose it to Christian. Oh, God, he won at SummerSlam, and I think he would lose it either Unforgiven or he would lose it No Mercy. I think he lost it No Mercy. But this was pretty good overall. Well, no, I think he lost it at Unforgiven and won it back at No Mercy. So this wasn't that bad. Then Austin and Angle are talking about being stuck in traffic. They're calling on the phone, those flip cell phones. And then I know Angle's a dork, but he's your dork for the night. Why that made me laugh, because he referred to Angle as a whale's penis. No, really, that's what a dork is. I don't know why that made me laugh. Mania 1 clips, and then Jericho cuts a promo on Tajiri, saying he's going to be his ass. He's full of piss and vinegar. At first, he was just filled with vinegar, and now he's filled with, well, you get it, because he's old now. And it was quick. Regal distracts. We get a pumped-up kick from Tajiri, and then the ref gets pulled out by Regal. Regal attacks him because he's a commissioner. And then the Mr. Regal, not Mr. Regal, and then we get a Lion Salt 1, 2, 3. Vince is in the ring to watch Austin and Angle at WWE New York. Security says they left already. Oh no, what the hell's going on? Austin runs down Booker. He's going to beat his sucker ass. And then here's Shane. And then Booker sneak attacks and then hits an axe kick on Vince, and then the locker room empties to run down. But they can't possibly go past the invisible wall and chase after Booker. That's it. That's the end of the show. Pretty cool. Pretty cool moments. I look forward to being disappointed once we get past SummerSlam 2001. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethlin. I'll see you soon.